Start recording and we can dive into it. Cool. Let me pull up. I have a few things that I want to talk to you about priority.
Okay.
Maybe we can start there. Find your email. Thank you for the notes, by the way. Small things, but very helpful. And you took the time to put in the minutes and the seconds and the.
Yeah, it's interesting, like commenting on someone else's video versus just editing it myself. Because I'm like, when I edit it myself, I know exactly where the pieces are and like, oh, I could just cut this out. But I'm telling, like instructing someone else, like, what are the minutes? Where should we go? Why do we want to cut it out?
I appreciate the detail. All right, so
so the video is okay. Then you're pretty clear on what you're going to do to finish it off.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What would you give that as a rating out of 10? As a starting piece.
As a rating?
Yeah.
I would give it like I don't know, 7.5, 8.
Ouch, Joel.
I haven't seen the final edit. I haven't seen what you did. Can you send me a link?
I'm just kidding with you. Yeah, I'd give it around. I'd give it around a 6.5, 7 too. I think there's a lot of room to improve, but it's at least we get started somewhere. We don't want to get stuck at perfection. So we can do another round.
Yeah.
All right. So Simon video 7.5, and I need to finalize details and post on landing page. We should be good. We should be going for a run. I mean, like we should be doing a ad run. We're not going for a run.
Yeah.
Okay, landing and run. We'll try. We'll see what we have. Would you agree? I think we should be good to go with trying to run an ad. The setup that we have.
Yeah. We still need an image for the ad.
Okay.
And then we need to talk about limitations on the ad and segments.
Yeah.
Let me just close my window. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
No problem.
I talked to Ed last week.
Yeah. Go on.
I talked to Edgar's last week, and he said that he also talked to another Facebook contact. And it sounds like there's basically no way around it. We're basically in real estate industry. All of our links, our description, your Facebook page, it says real estate on it. And so therefore we're automatically flagged into that special category. So I don't think we're going to be able to do the segmentation that we were hoping to target areas, to target demographics. So we'll have to go with the generic ads and see how that works. Given that the generic ads, we can at least make our copy a little bit more specific then. We can use the word real estate in it because we're going to get flagged anyways. So we might as well like just be very clear on what we're offering. And then, and then test it and see what kind of click-through rates we got.
Yeah, I don't think it's the end of the world. I think it'd be better if we could target, but if we can't target, it's okay. We're still going to be able to, depending on what we write on our ad, we can target with our words, with the word, right? So I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. So let's give it a shot. Let's see what we can do with it. There was something that Edgar wanted me to ask you, and I completely forgot what it was. So it'll come to me later. Or I'll send them a message and they can send me. But
Because we also talked about Google Ads, and I gave them a little rundown kind of crash course of how the platform works and
Yeah.
how it could work for us, suggesting to start with the search ads, not display ads, not YouTube either, just because it takes a lot more time and focus to get those right. And so they're very different platforms, whether you're doing YouTube ads or search ads. And so the idea with the search ads is that we need to find the keywords that people are searching for, like Toronto homes for sale in Google. And when they search for that, see if we can show an ad, and we could try different types of ads. One of the ads could be just a branded ad. Hey, Smart Homes, we're here to help, this kind of thing. It could be a campaign ad towards this assignment sale that says, hey, are you struggling to, battle multiple offers on homes? Or it could be a specific listing ad. I don't know if the listing ad if we're gonna be able to get it that effective with search. But basically, those are the three different ones that we could try.
why don't you think so? Why don't you think the listing ads could be effective? Because you can target in Google, right?
You can target in Google, you can target geographically, you can get pretty specific, you can target age range and things like that. But when someone's on Google, they're looking for, I don't know, they're looking for information, right? They either want a website they can go to find a bunch of listings of houses, which is probably accurate. And so, or they're looking for help to find the list of properties from a real estate agent or something like that. And to show them a single property when they're looking for, we don't even know if they're looking for big houses, small houses, condos, that sort of thing. The number of people that we're going to get with that text ad is going to be pretty minimal, as well as there's no images on search ads. So a house, you've got to read the text and it's got to say like 2-story or 2-story home, 4-bedroom, and it's a bunch of things to read. And I think people would just scroll down and click on, royallepage.com or whatever it is.
Do you pay when people are not clicking? Do you pay by impression?
You pay per click, yeah.
So if they're not clicking,
So it's worth a test. Yeah.
Okay, I see the point that you're making, and I think it's very valid. I think it'd be very effective for the assignment because people are looking for a platform. It may not be very effective for the listings. We can try. It depends on like how we're catering to a community, and we target a community that could solve our problem, right? Where we wanted to only go to a certain community, and we want them to, newest listing or whatever. Well, we can play with it, but that's a good point. I remember what Edgar wanted me to ask you about the Facebook ads. I think both the people who spoke to from Facebook had mentioned that it'd be very important for us to run a ongoing ad on Facebook, more of a branding ad, like Samad Homes, choose Samad Homes. He said like it's come up twice, and he was like, Omar, I think we need to do something about it because it's come up twice as a piece of advice. So maybe we can just kind of strategize on what should that look like, what kind of text we should have in that ad, and what kind of picture, whatnot. And that would be an evergreen. That would be something that would constantly run, right?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that now or later?
Let's talk about that later. But maybe we can put it in our itinerary. I think there's a few other things that are more important that we want to dive into. So for items for tomorrow, you said get clarity on how to move forward with the funnel despite the Facebook limitations. I think that we've already talked about. I think we should go with a run and see what kind of leads we get from it, and give it maybe a 1-week testing period. Maybe we do a platform of maybe 5 listings. That's it, and on Monday and see what people say, like see how people engage, and start to improve slowly. Like see, we need to tweak this, we need to change that.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
I think that makes sense. So we'll need the obviously video finalized, the page finalized with the video on it, the graphic for the ad.
Yep.
And then there's a variety of different ad copies that we've outlined already, so we can try some of those out.
So we can finalize today the graphics for the ad part that we can finalize today. What do you say?
Yeah. Do you mean like on this call you want to talk about it, or you have somebody on your team who can do the design today?
We can talk about it and decide on whether you do it or somebody on the team does it, and just kind of move forward. Yeah,
okay.
That's one of the things that we can wrap up on today. We'll be able to move forward with our first launch for the assignments, just to test, see how that performs. Second thing is review video edit suggestions. We already talked about that, and I think
Yep.
I'm just going to make these changes. I don't see anything that's overly complicated, but we'll do that. Is this good? Like that kind of text, or did you have something else in mind?
Sorry, just switch screens here for a sec. Go back to it.
You see it? Interested? So what is an assignment sale, and why is it? Is that like that's kind of the kind of text that you want?
Yeah, I think if we had it on a either colored text, it's just a little bit hard to read is the only thing.
How do you change the text in iMovies? I don't know if you can.
I'm not too familiar, actually. I haven't used iMovie before. Well, not extensively. Let's see. Oh, it gives you a little bottom bar.
We can use something like that.
I would say almost do that one.
Okay, we can do something like that.
Yeah, just maybe like something with a background, so that way, because you've got a lot of white there, so white text is a little hard to see.
Yeah, we'll do something like this. All right, I'll do that later.
Okay.
Okay, so that is it with regards to finalizing video. Your second point was review listing funnels, welcome email. I'm drafting. Okay, so you're drafting the welcome email. I want to pay extra focus on this part because we have a bit of a problem in the team. We have listings that are not selling. They're staying on the market, and some of them are the ideal buyer for these listings is going to be somebody from outside the area. So I think we can accomplish that with an ad, with a proper ad. So I'll share with you what we have so far, and maybe we can run through this. Maybe we can pay most of the focus on this part. We'll talk a little bit about the website. So the focus I want to put towards the listing funnel. We're getting good engagement, but we're not getting a good enough engagement. We're not engaging with these leads properly, and we're not converting these leads properly. So
okay,
we've thought about a plan to discuss that. So let's talk about that now, if you're good with that.
Yep, sounds good.
Let me show you what we have, and you can give me your thoughts on it. You can critique it, and you can give us some notes. So let me pull it up for a second. All right, here it is. So
you're not sharing anymore.
wait a second. Can you see my screen?
There we go. Yep.
Do you see this?
Mhm.
We highlighted the top 3 things that we are lacking in with the website is, engaging, converting these people, like with direct engagements, whether it's calls or emails or whatever, text messages, and personalization. We wanted to add more personality and let people know they want to work with us, right? Our websites seem to be more about the property and less about us. That's something we talked about last time, me and you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So kind of the ideal conversion track that we were hoping for is like we would aim to get around 3,000 entries to the website. 150 of them will subscribe to that specific website. It's around 5%.
Okay.
75 out of the 150, we can get to sign up to receive content from us regularly, right? And then maybe around 10% of that, so 7 people would be engaging with in order to see if they would buy or sell. 5 of them will sign up with us. So we're trying to see, that's kind of the ideal that we're trying to walk towards, right? And out of these 75, we know some people are going to be unsubscribing. We know some people are going to be opening it, blah, 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 right? But we're trying to see if we can get these numbers here. We're trying to see if we can get these numbers. And if we do, that would be success, right? We're getting the 3,000. That's a no problem. You pay more money, you get more people.
Yeah.
This part over here is the tricky part. We found some places where the landing page was great, but the conversions were low. And I think a part of it could be because we're directing the wrong kind of people to that page and they have no interest subscribing, either they're tenants or whatever. So making clearer ads. So we're running these changes. And one thing that we're changing is that we're trying to keep track. Every time we make a change, we want to know conversions. We keep that change for a week and we see what is the conversion rate so that we know if we're getting closer or getting further away.
Yeah.
The goal. Now, the plan in order to get these numbers is to follow something similar to this. So we wanted to have it automated as much as possible. We didn't want to have too much work going into every single time we have a property. It's a lot of work to do that.
Yeah.
So this is the personalized page that you were talking about. This is the first email that goes out automatically when people sign up. And in here, we wanted to have a place for them to click to access the website. So what they get is they go into the landing page. After they subscribe, they get into a thank you page. And they'll have a video with thank you. And the email that they will read, there will be a link for them to click to go into the website.
Okay.
And this is the email that you're drafting. This is the email that has kind of the personal.
Yeah, I've got that. I can send it to you.
Yeah, so that's the first email. The opt-in page, we were talking about making it very clear what they're opting in for. So putting a price, making it more clear. I don't know if you've seen, but Edgar has cleaned up a lot the opt-in pages.
Yeah, definitely. They look
they look a lot nicer. They look a lot nicer. He has another idea that he's thinking about is, I'll diverge here a little bit and we'll take a look at it together. Here we go. So he has another idea here. Let's look at this one, for example. We did the suggestions that you were talking about.
Yeah, that's the one I was actually looking at today.
So there's it's very subtle. You actually don't see very well that there are other property pictures, right? So I don't know if I like that. I think we want it to be more visible, but I mean, people will pick up on it. The video, this looks nice. What he was thinking is, Omar, how about we just, what is it called when you do this, when you make it faded? So why don't we fade up the entire website? Like, why doesn't the first page be the whole website faded out, maybe a little bit of information and a pop-up where they sign in and they move in. So instead of designing 2 separate pages, you design one page and you just, all you do is you do a copy which is faded out. I don't know how easy that is. I don't know if it's more work or less work.
Mhm.
What do you think? Do something like this or fade out the website?
Um,
So cute here, this little Samad Homes.
yeah, my concern with fading out the entire website immediately is that I don't know. I mean, it's worth a try, I guess. I think the being able to see like what this web page is for before I put my email in, I think is important. So we got to think about like people don't just want to put their email in everywhere on the internet. And so they're questioning every time that there's a form that they have to fill out. And so if they don't see any information and all they see is a form, they might be more skeptical to fill it out, as opposed to if there's some information and then they see what they're going to get when they fill it out.
Do you
That's
think,
my initial thought, but you could try it. Blurring the entire website, like copying it and blurring it, is not very easy. Although the pop-ups might, if you had an automatic pop-up that you couldn't close unless you filled it out, and the pop-up, like similar to this, had like a dark black kind of background on it, that might be a way to do it.
Yeah.
Because this is just a screenshot that's been blurred, right? It's not actual text and stuff.
yeah.
Um,
Let's try with this for now. Let's see how this does. We've also done,
mhm.
we've also added more, more to our form. So before it was just, are you working with an agent? This has made it much easier for us to zoom in on who we want to focus on first. Right.
Mm.
So that's been a small change. And I've added also another field, and we're trying to be careful we don't have to put too many fields, but I've added
Yeah.
saying, what is your ideal price point? And for them to just kind of select $250,000 increments. So it's a fast enough one, but it gives us a lot of perspective on who to focus on, right? And
Mm.
it's very time consuming to go through all the leads. So I'm going to
Mhm.
go back. I'm going to go back to what we are talking about, and I think I'm glad that you see that both options are good options. Let's. I think the only way for us to figure it out is to actually give it a shot and try and see
Yeah.
see what conversions are higher, where the conversions are higher. Let me go back to the diagram that I had over here.
Yeah.
So,
One last point about that landing page. I was thinking about, it says unlock the full website. And me and Edgar's had talked about potentially different language for that instead of unlock the full website. Because like, what do people want when they're landing on this page? They want to see the details, the information, the pictures. They don't want a website. They want to know about the house. And so how can we change that language to be a little bit less mechanical and a little bit more benefit oriented? Like unlock to see pictures and pricing and something. And so there's different ways we could word that, but I think unlock the full website sounds a bit, yeah, mechanical or something.
even if it says it over here, you think that that still feels mechanical?
Like unlock to see property details. I don't know, that's still a little rough.
It does say like property reports, pictures, virtual tours, neighborhood reports, and much more.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, I just think like full website is kind of a weird phrase there in
Okay.
the header. Um, yeah, so even if it just said like full details or something like that, see more details, unlock to see more details. Yeah.
Right, so I have a question for you. This is what we have for website, right? I'll look at the actual website here, so we can. This is our USP. Like this is what we use typically when we wanna get a listing. We're telling people that we go above and beyond. We do this. We're
Mhm.
attracting people into the property that are typically not just from the MLS. But we got a ton of value here for you, right?
Mhm.
Now, now the amount of time invested in order to get this thing up and running is we're questioning whether this time is worth it, right? We can potentially have a a template built up through a third party where it can create a page for that website. The only additions that we have here is this stuff, the customizations, this stuff over here, the presentation, the videos, the schools, like, you know what I mean? Like that's stuff that we're building in. And we're
Mhm.
questioning whether or not this is worthwhile. Now, I feel like this could be, I feel like this could be better. It's beautiful, but it could be better without taking more time. Um, if these pages had more infused in it, it had more stuff about us as well, and maybe a place for them to search for. I mean, we can easily make a tab here, a nice additional section. If they click on if they click on the button, they can see similar properties to this one. That's the easy
Right.
thing to do. I can do that. But I'm just thinking to myself, how can we low maintenance without doing a lot of work? How can we make this into more of a value add? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think like this section over here have questions. There should be more of this built into this website that talk
Mhm.
a little bit more of what we can do for them. Um, Custom content for this property. What are your thoughts? And they,
Well,
sorry,
I'm wondering like what other custom content is there other than the like I get your point about adding more information about SMAD homes because there isn't hardly anything on here that explains who you are other than that kind of about button. Um,
like maybe a place for them to register for the investment stuff. Maybe a place for them to register for and I'm talking about templated stuff. Like what can we add here and to make this template more value added
value added for the user or for the person selling the home?
for the user? Every person, so out of here, the people who are going to see these, we're going to attract some sellers. We're going to attract sellers who want to have their property presented in the same way.
Mhm.
Add some, attract some, or sellers who are curious to know what the value of their property is. They're looking at this one because they want to understand how much their value of their property is. Sellers that are buyers that are looking to buy this property or other properties. So there should be a similar property section. If this is not for you, you should be able to continue. You shouldn't just kind of stop there.
Yeah.
There should be a place where uh, a place for us to kind of have social media. Um, I don't know, maybe a Instagram, a plugin that kind of takes you like an Instagram post about the property that if you click on, you go into the Instagram, URL. I don't know. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
Um,
So, yeah, it's interesting because I mean, like what you're describing is almost a MLS, a Royal LePage like directory, right? Having the ability to have all of your listings in one place, having them so you can see the other listings as you're looking at one, but it's a nice looking page and it's branded and has your information on it.
No. I'm not trying to duplicate an MLS directory. That absolutely not. But what I'm thinking about is if I have a small section, let's say something that looks like this.
I know you're not trying to duplicate it, but those features would be easiest implemented if you had a directory type of platform,
Yeah,
right?
but what do you,
Because that would automate it. All you'd have to do is put in descriptions, pictures, and categories, and then it would display it all on the page. You wouldn't have to create every page for it.
what I was
And I don't know what Kajabi has for directory type stuff.
I don't think they can. What I was thinking is a picture of Roncesvalles, for example, or a picture about like downtown living, right? See other properties, see other similar properties, and then you click on the button, and it takes you to a pre-searched directory from a Royal LePage website. Right?
Mhm.
You have access to a Royal LePage website, which is it's an MLS version of, all the listings that are out in the MLS. It's all over there. So
Yeah.
if they click on that button, they are redirected to a pre-searched criteria. So all I do is I copy paste the URL from that, and I add it to the button over here, and then
Mhm.
then they're looking at properties that are in the same price range. They're looking
Mhm.
at properties in the same area. I create that boundary. Do you know what I mean? I create that boundary and I put it here, and then they're scrolling through those properties that are similar, right? And in there, the idea is how can I capture them in there, right? And I think there's a way of doing it, but it's complicated because you're integrating two different platforms together.
Mhm. Do you get control over that platform,
Yeah,
or is it just a public website? Like, do you have your own section on it?
yeah. We need to do a little bit of customizations in that platform, but it's a new platform that was bought by Royal LePage, and it's KV Core. I don't know if you've heard of KV Core. It's
Mm.
it's an artificial intelligence plugin to it where they look at your behaviors and they provide you information based on your behavior. So
Right.
it's a pretty sophisticated program that we can link towards.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, as long as if you're sending them somewhere, if you control that page and you can have a message on that page and you could show them, your assignment sale video or whatever it is, a campaign kind of on that page, that could be a good option to get people out of this page, but to still interact with your stuff, your information, as opposed to going to a generic Royal LePage search, which, they're just going to search any homes and there's no messaging about you or how to contact you. Do you think, I haven't seen that platform, it's like fully running and working and we just need to update it with your information and then figure out how to link to it and do the searches?
Yeah, I think to get it running on a basic level, yes, it's very easy. And there's a lot of functionality in it that can be done if you wanted to go into a more advanced levels.
Mhm.
Only issue with it is that you may need to be registering here and then re-registering there. And that's
Mhm.
annoying to people, right? I just gave you my information. Why the hell am I giving you my information again?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that.
Well, what does that platform look like? Because can we just use that platform instead of this one?
That's what I was thinking. I mean, instead of Edgar spending so much time building up over here, unless and only this is adding value that the other one can't, and we shouldn't be spending time over here. We should be using the other one. We can't customize the other one the way that we can customize this one, right? And
Yeah.
the advantage on the other one is that people can play there. They can search. They can do whatever they need to do there, and we track them, and it sends them emails, and it interacts with them without us having to interact. It interacts with them based on their behaviors, right? So
Mhm.
it's an intelligent website that can add value. But the question is, is this really doing something that the other one can't? Or maybe all this becomes is just like more information on Ronsi or more information on this property. Click a button and then I don't know. I'm not sure. Like that's me and Edgar's are talking about how valuable is time invested here, and can the time be invested somewhere else?
Yeah. Because I think, like you said, like the benefit to that other platform is they can quickly go and see other similar properties. They're not stuck on one page.
Yeah.
And so depending on what it looks like and how much information you can put on there that's on this version, does it do the job for the user to get information about the property? The answer is probably definitely yes. Like, does the user, the person searching for a home, get enough information from it?
Yeah.
Now, that's one reason that you're making this page. The second reason you're making this page is to impress potential sellers. And that's a little bit more of a tricky conversation, because it's like, yes, we can impress you with this page, but does that page actually help us versus the other thing I'm doing?
Right now, it's directing traffic in.
Mm-hmm.
And we're tweaking that traffic and we're controlling that traffic and we're getting better and we're getting conversions, we're getting inquiries and we're getting people who are calling. So it's working. Not to the level that we want it to, but it's working. We can shift and focus on the KV Core platform that is being bought by Royal LePage and do the same things to get it to work there.
Mm-hmm.
You can do drip campaigns, you can do all the same things that you can do here. The only difference is the contact lives in Kajabi now, and then they will continue receiving newsletters in Kajabi, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I move them to KV Core, now I need to move them from KV Core back to Kajabi. You know what I mean? Instead of having them all live in one place and interact, and I can create a tribe, and I can create. Do you know what I mean? So that's the disconnect. So keep everything in one place, and then connect to KV Core for people who want to search for properties. That's one. Or get them to KV Core, build up KV Core, and then take the contacts from KV Core and put them back in Kajabi so that you can send them newsletters and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I would be more inclined to do that. And the reason is that someone is going to be way more likely to go back to KV Core or whatever platform's called, to search for more properties in the future. If you're getting them through this landing page through an ad, you got them the first time, they're on your email list, they might get your emails for future properties. But if they're just thinking, hey, I'm going to go back and search for some things, they're not going to come to your website to go search, right? They're going to go back to Google, they're going to type in Toronto homes or go to MLS or something like that. And so if you have this KV Core, they're more likely to go back there to search for future properties, I would assume. And so I would spend like some time and do a deep dive on like what that platform does. And if there's anything in your system that's going to be advantageous over it.
That's how these listings seem to look like. Right? I'm playing with it right now. This is the sphere or the page. I'm not I'm interacting as, and I don't know this yet very well, but I'm not interacting as someone who is looking at the website. I'm interacting.
Yeah, let's get back. Yeah.
But there's a ton of things, lead engines, transactions. Anyway, it's something that we're going through right now. I think we need to stay on course until this is built up, if we're going to be migrating there. Stay on course, and regardless, any content that we're creating right now is going to be moved there, migrated there anyway, right? We're gonna have to build drip campaigns over there just by copy pasting. The other thing I really like about Kajabi is you can create beautiful emails. You can create branded emails, you can create newsletters, you know what I mean? You don't have that aesthetical part with KV Core. Or if you do want to get it, then you have to do customizations, which are going to be expensive. it's, you're gonna have to go pay them to get the home.
And so I guess one of my question would be, can you download those contacts and migrate them?
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure they can. It's a CRM system. It's a full out CRM system. We
Yeah.
definitely need to check into it. You're right. Anyway, go on.
But yeah, I think like if it has that power to it where you can own the way it looks to a certain degree, or at least the information that's on it, and be able to have, you know, an additional call to action for an assignment sale or something like that. Plus, you know, it gives the user the ability to search through multiple properties. I think that would be, yeah, a more significant like home base for people to search for homes.
Okay. We,
Yeah.
we got to think about that. I mean, I can always include, if somebody wants to search for properties, I can always have in the email, search for more properties, clicking this link, or save this, favorite this link or whatever, in order so you can search for properties. But how are people typically, you're talking about home base, to someone who comes and finds this from an ad, to someone who finds this from an ad, who gets into this page, who then gets emails, how does this become the home base? Are they pulling this email out of their email? Like, are they pulling this URL from their email, or how does this typically become home base for a person, a user?
Sure. I don't know what the front end looks like. Like what is the site? Because for me, like I'm going to search for homes. I'm going to like royallepage.com or what are some of the other ones I was looking at? There's one called Kelowna Homes. I was searching that for a bit. REW is one out here. I don't know if that's the same out there, homes for sale. And so it's like these directory listing sites, and you search through them. Like Kelowna Homes is one that has, I think you have to sign in to see what information is on it, and it's not necessarily linked to an agent, I don't think, but I mean maybe it is, depending on where you come into the site from. So anyways, like I go back to these same sites when I do searches again. Every week, every couple of weeks, I'm going back to Royal LePage, I'm going back to REW or Kelowna Homes. And so if this is that one of those sites for people, once they've seen it the first time, they're like, oh, I'm gonna go back because there was a good interface there. It was nice, it was easy to see, had the information I wanted. It wasn't too clunky, because some of them are super clunky. And if I'm searching on my phone, that just sucks. I'm gonna go to the other one's easier, right? So I think the user experience on it makes a difference. And then from your emails, you can push people back to that site every time, right? So if you have a new listing, you go to the listing that's on that site, and it's a familiar experience, and then they can go and again look for more information.
The domain name is typically what is registered in your mind. It's Kelowna Homes, it's RLP, it's whatever. So an easy, catchy domain name is what keeps you coming back. And once you start searching there, then you want to continue searching there because you've created saved, you created, whatever you've done, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So
I would look at it from a user perspective too, not just your backend version. Like just go look for some homes on the platform and see what it looks like. Try it on your phone. I'm almost always looking for properties on my phone, not on my computer. Yeah. Just because it's like, hey, I wonder what's new today. Go check a look.
Okay. I know that we're coming to a wrap, but this is an important piece that we talked about, and I really want you to know about it and see how you can help with it. This is where me and Edgars are focusing most of our attention today.
So one of my questions on this flow, we've got the opt-in page, the email, and then a thank you page with a video, and they have to click from the email to get back into the full website.
Yeah, so they have to provide a proper email.
Yeah.
And in the video, it'll say, thank you for subscribing. You just received an email from us. And as promised, you'll be able to access the listing of the property through this link. What do you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit more friction, right? I understand like making sure that they give a proper email, it makes sense, but
It'll also put more emphasis on what we write in that intro email. It kind
true.
of gives them that personality. They have to go through it, curious, they click on this, and then they get to the beautiful website that they were promised.
Mhm,
Um, what we were thinking that follows is we wanted to, again, least amount of work, but most amount of like template. Like we want to create a template. The
mhm,
second email that follows is more like experience the property. So it'll be a virtual tour, a 3D virtual tour where they can actually go and, travel through the property. They can take measurements. They have a floor plan. And the whole email is probably just going to be like experience the property. At the bottom of that email, it'll say, book your visit now to see it in person. So
mhm.
one purpose to that email, see it virtually, now book it in person, right? And it'll be a calendar where they can book right away, right? So
Yeah.
that's the email that follows. That's an important email. That could be the same template everywhere. All we do is just change the links. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then the next email, also a templated email, it's about the seller. So it's a story about the seller. And we do this currently. We send it out in marketing as a flyer or whatever. So all we do is copy paste the text and change the picture. And it's like at the end of this, it says, 25% of all houses bought are typically uh, uh, through the neighbors or through the people who tell someone else about it. Have the opportunity to pick your own. That doesn't apply here, but pick your own neighbor, because that one we send out to the neighbors. Anyway, it's a nice different. It's a
Mhm.
catchy way of getting their curiosity up. And then at the bottom, there's a testimonials, like video testimonials that are evergreen, that will stay there.
Right.
So it's more like a human approach, testimonials. Very
Mhm.
different, very cool. And and then here there's a video about the values, like it's a CMA video, comparative market analysis video of this property. What are other properties selling for? Why is this a good deal? And it will interest buyers and sellers, because sellers are going to be curious what their property is worth. Buyers are curious, what other properties are available, what they sold for. So they're going to come to us for value. Again, here, the button here is book for a call, consultation, book for a consultation.
Mhm.
And then the final one is to get them to subscribe, to start following us on the investor and the homeowner. Remember when the first time we talked? So
Yeah.
I'm building up these videos, and inside here there'll be just a couple of like, what are the top things that somebody needs to know when they're buying a home? And I'm like, email us to get the PDF.
Mhm.
This is the drip that we were thinking about doing, and we want to pre-sale. We want to pre-sell the subscription. This is a big piece. We want to get a high percentage return. I don't know what I did. Oops. We want to get a high percentage return on the prospects. So people who are subscribing for our emails. So
Mhm.
we want to have subtle sign up for this, and we want to have this in the website itself as well, a property website, a section where interested in getting more investor information. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm. What prospect rate are you getting right now?
We haven't we
If you
haven't
get a
we haven't even pitched it, right? So people right now, we have people that sign up and we communicate with them, but we haven't really included this part of it because we don't have any content yet. So we're building our
well, you
first.
don't have content, you have people reaching out,
How many people
right?
reached out in the
From
last
your subscriber.
in the last week? We've had around 4 people reached out, 4 or 5 people reached out. Yeah.
Mhm. Um, got, yeah.
Do you think that that's a very high number?
Well, it depends, like, what's the ratio, subscribers to people that reach out, I
Yeah,
think.
they're two separate things. This here is the number of people that reach out. We're looking to have 7 people reach out, 5 of them become business. This over here is how many people want to get our content, want to continue to receive content from us. Subscribing to a newsletter, basically.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I would leave everybody on the list personally. Like, give them an opportunity to opt out, but default to leave them on the list as opposed to the other way around.
That's a good idea.
And just know that, like, you've got to be respectful of this list, of these emails, and pumping out a bunch of sales emails week after week is not going to be super effective. And there has to be a lot of value and information in it, but I know you already know that. So if they're subscribing one time, I don't think we need to get them to subscribe again to get monthly emails.
That's a good idea. So this, what I forgot is this last email, this video, what this video is pretty much going to say is, you know, we've completed our journey together on this specific property after they've received, you know, 8 touch points. I was going to say, if you're interested to continue receiving more information and advice on investing, subscribe here. It could be the opposite way. It could be, if you're not interested in receiving any additional information, please click the unsubscribe button and we will remove your communication, remove it from the communication. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that'll be more effective, because you don't want to just assume that everyone's going to open that singular email and click that one and then put them onto a new list. I think you'd lose a lot of people that you could potentially keep reaching. Okay. I'll send you the content for, yeah, I'll email the file to you for that initial welcome email. And so I added some, you know, personality. It's a little more casual, a little more, you know, welcoming, I guess. And we can kind of go from there, I think, and start working on building out the rest of the funnel. I think we talked about this before too, is like, how much time do you spend focusing on that singular property versus real estate education in general? And I wonder if there's a call to action in there that says, you know, I'm still interested in this property, or, you know, this property is not right for me. And it's something to think about. I don't have an answer for it yet, but something where, you know, there's going to be a bunch of these people that saw this property once and they're like, you know, I don't need a giant home. I'm looking for a condo. I thought it was something else, right? So if they click the button that says this property is not for me, then you stop sending them the next 3 emails about this property, and you just skip them straight to the end where they start getting content about real estate in general.
That's a good idea too. That's a good idea too.
It just avoids the people unsubscribing because they're like, oh, I'm just going to keep getting more information about this property that I'm never going to buy.
Maybe it could be in this place over here.
Yeah, I think so. Somewhere near the beach.
Yeah,
because I think people know really quick. They're like, oh, I thought this was going to be like 4 bedrooms, but it's only 3, so it's not good for me.
okay, that's a good idea. Maybe here as well, they can start looking at other properties. It could be also a link to see other properties. Search for other properties similar, like to direct them to a search platform. And it could be a place for them to kind of, you know, get a fast forward to here. Like if they click this, they get this one.
Yeah, or even to like, what is it, like number 7, 8, 9, where you're giving information. Like
yeah, this is still information about the property. A lot of this though, Joel, was built up on that conversation that we had. Is like people are not specifically looking at this property, and this is why a lot of these pieces, like this one and this one are the only ones that are specific to the property. I guess too, but this is more about us. Like, this is more about like a chance for us to showcase technology and evaluation, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can we say that the action items for the next meeting, me and Edgar are going to be working on this. Next week, I think we're going to have most of this ready.
Mm.
You can check it out for us and come up with any text, like any making it more clear, like this over here,
Mhm.
this over here. Just checking out the text and seeing if you have any other additions or any changes that you think we should be doing.
Sure. Yeah, just send me a link to the Kajabi place, whichever listing you're working on with this new version, when it's ready, and I'll take a look.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'll send you an email right after, and then yeah, we'll go from there.
Sounds good. Okay, Joe. Thank you so
Cool.
much.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
You too. Cheers.
Yeah.